My name is Mary and I also go by the Healing Cave Lady, and if you're new to my channel, welcome. Today I have a very important video for you. This video was actually created because I recently taught a class called How to Be Your Own Best Doctor, and it was really explaining how the body works, toxins, the impact of toxins and chemicals on the body, how it creates disease within the body, and how important it is to know that. So if you understand the knowledge behind chemical toxicity and being exposed to toxins, the impact of it on your body, how much it's going to make you want to detox and live a healthier lifestyle and make better choices. But I also created this class to help you with healthy swaps in your life so you don't feel like you're overwhelmed. So if you're interested in knowing why you might still be having ailments, migraines, headaches, things that the doctors just can't figure out, and you want to figure out what the root cause of it so you can be your own best doctor, keep watching. So I just wanted to let you know, I'm going to be going over my class with you guys, and I want to let you know that I have free print-offs of everything I'm talking about on healingcavelady.com. I'll kind of show you a screen clip of how you go to healingcavelady.com, click on masterclass, and you can get all the print-offs as well as links to products that I talk about. So much easier than clicking in the description box, but go to healingcavelady.com. Everything that I'll be talking about here that I have written for the masterclass.
As you can see, you go to healingcavelady.com, click on Masterclass, and you can scroll down to click on the class printouts. Is exactly what I'm going to be going through with you here. But I also have a non-toxic checklist, a checklist swap to swap out all the things in your home that could be toxic, and links for products and all kinds of support here on my website.
It's so important to understand what a toxin is, what it does in your body, is so that you can be radical about doing whatever you can to avoid them. A lot of people know that toxins are bad and detoxing is important, but they really don't know why. Yeah, it hurts your body, it's not good for you, but why, right? So let's start by what a toxin is. So the definition of a toxin is a poisonous substance produced within living cells or organisms. So aside from these toxic substances that are created within, there are obviously toxins that can come from outside the body. So an example of toxins that are produced within the body. So a lot of people don't know that your body can create toxicity. There are a couple different ways that this can happen. You can create toxicity within your own body in a few different ways. Let me explain those. So the first way is through parasites, sporocytes, mold, and things like that. So basically, if you have things like candida or parasites in the body, when they die off, they release a very toxic substance in the body that the body has to get rid of. So that's an example of something within the body that creates toxicity. So things like, parasites, worms, amoebas, protozoas, and then you have candida, which is a yeast that can become opportunistic and kind of take over. That creates a type of alcohol that is very, very bad for the body. So the other thing that can create toxicity within the body are thoughts. So your thought life, if you go to the doctor and you have ailments that they can't figure out, a lot of times they'll label it as stress. So a stress toxin is very, very different from the fight or flight response that is produced from producing stress hormones. So you have stress hormones that are produced from your adrenals. So stress hormones that are produced in the body are not toxins. They are hormones, and having an abundance of too much cortisol throughout the day obviously is going to be a bad thing because it's going to tax your adrenals and make you tired. But there's specific type of thinking, and Dr. Caroline Leaf mentions this in her book, Switch On Your Brain, Who Turned Off Your Brain, Who Switched Off Your Brain, Switch On Your Brain. She is a neuroscientist that talks about this type of thinking. So anything that you think that is negative, fear-based, that causes chaos in the brain, creates physical toxins, not only upon inception, but it releases a boatload of toxins after you think about it longer than a 10-minute period. So if you're thinking anything fear-based, anything that is causing the mind to be chaotic, basically anything that is anger, bitterness, those types of things, it creates a physical toxin in the body that is just as bad as if you consumed red dye number 5. Like literally these toxins you create in your brain are just as bad for you as consuming products like inorganic products that are sprayed with Roundup. So it's really important to understand the stress thinking as well as the toxins that you're being exposed to. So we have the stress thinking that produces toxins in the body. We have pathogens like Lyme disease. They're called sporocytes. And I personally have Lyme disease, so basically my body is always producing these sporocytes that create toxicity in the body. So it's naturally occurring, it's always happening. I'm always having to fight that. And a lot of people have underlying disease that they don't know about, that it's creating toxicity. And then you add toxicity from the environment and negative thoughts, and then you have a recipe for disaster. So there's also mold. When you are exposed to mold, it attaches to the biofilms in your gut, even all the way up to your mouth, and it can keep reproducing these spores in your body that create toxicity, and it can make you very, very sick as well. So those are examples of things that happen within the body that create toxins. So the things on the outside that you can be exposed to are things like volatile organic compounds. They're called VOCs. So when you're choosing paints and furniture for your home, you want to make sure they are green guard, low VOC, no VOC, make sure they're not off-gassing formaldehyde and other toxic substances. Because when you breathe these in, you're exposed to those toxins. You're breathing them into your lungs. Even though you can't see them, a lot of times they're gas. They are a physical toxin, so they create toxicity in the body. And then you have things that you put on your skin. Maybe it's your moisturizer, maybe it's your lotions, maybe it's your skincare, all the things that you expose yourself, that you're putting on your body. Your skin is the largest organ in the body. It's the most susceptible. So when you are putting on, washing your hair, when you are putting, like I said, your lotion, your shaving cream, like all of those things, you want to make sure those things are clean because they can carry toxins. A lot of candles produce really horrible toxins in the air, VOCs in the air that you are breathing in. So you want to make sure your candles are clean. So we have inhaling VOCs, so clean furniture, carpets, rugs, the type of wood that you choose to put into your home, in your flooring, paint, like everything that you could possibly breathe in, including things like perfumes and personal care items like hairspray. You want to make sure that those are non-toxic. That you can be consuming. So consuming inorganic produce, a lot of it is sprayed with glyphosate, which is a horrific toxin that destroys the guts. It's actually created to kill the bugs that eat the food that is sprayed with it. So it pokes little holes in their intestinal lining. What do you think it does to you? It pokes little holes in your intestinal lining, causing leaky gut and a raft of other issues in the body. So you have the things that you put in your body, like food. So food can carry all types of toxicities. You've got so much food on the market that isn't really food. It's created in a lab. Things like Diet Coke, diet drinks that are formulated in a lab that basically are chemicals. Then you have foods that have dyes. Then you have colors. Those are toxins. Then you have food that is just inorganic, especially GMO, genetically modified food. Genetically modified food has viruses implanted into it, and then they spray it with Roundup, and Roundup glyphosate creates basically holes in insects' guts. So when the insects eat the food, they die. And what do you think happens to you? What do you think that they've studied? When you eat that food, it pokes little holes in your gut too. So it causes leaky gut, intestinal permeability, and that can also make you sick. So you have the foods that you eat. You want to eat as organically as possible, clean food, whole foods, things that are not overly processed to avoid that toxicity. So now, okay, so we know how we're exposed to toxins, right? They're everywhere. Nail polish, makeup, the things that you breathe, the candles that you bring in the house, the perfumes that you're spraying, the hairspray you're spraying, all these things. So you know those toxins are bad, right? But what do toxins actually do, right? You know they don't make you feel good, right? But like, what do they actually do? So when a toxin is either inhaled or ingested, or you're exposed to it in some way, what it does is it finds a place to attach in the body. Once it's attached somewhere, usually in joints or in the intestines, because our intestines are so big and then they're squished down. It's a really easy place for toxins to get stored. The first thing it does is it creates sarcodes, which is weakened tissue. So that can be joint pain, that can be gut pain and gut inflammation. What happens at that point is wherever that toxin is stored, it needs to get a bunch of water around it because it needs to start a healing process because that tissue is weakened. So that is where water retention comes in when you're exposed to toxins. It's absolutely necessary because you need the water to be wrapped around the area so that you can get oxygenated blood into the area to heal it. The problem is when you are exposed to toxins on a continual basis and you're not able to get them out of the body as fast as they're coming in, it starts to cause issues. So it starts with sarcodes. You could just be like a little weak or a little sore, and then if you cannot move the toxins out of those areas, it starts to deteriorate the tissue. That's when you're having chronic pain. That's when you're getting autoimmune disease. That's when you wake up and always that vertebrae in your back hurts so bad, or your knee hurts all the time, or your ankle or your hip. That is basically when the cells are starting to deteriorate. The next phase is the worst. Once they've started deteriorating, once they started really always wrapping water around that area, but never getting that oxygenated blood to heal the area because there's no chance for it to happen, that's when it gets to a point where the cells might mutate. Our body is so brilliant that it wants to keep living, it wants to survive. So you get a cell that gets broken down and it starts reproducing a cell that is not a whole cell, it's not a perfect cell, it's a rogue cell. That's how cancer is formed. So understanding that these toxins hurt you, deteriorate your body, and then can form cancer, and it can happen anywhere. There's no rhyme or reason. It's gonna happen anywhere where there's the least amount of movement or the hardest area for those toxins to move out of. That's why breast cancer is so much more common in women than men. Women a lot of times will wear underwire bras, and that's blocking the lymphatic flow. So it finds a place where toxins can just sit and start wearing away the tissue, causing pain. A lot of times women won't even notice it because, oh, your bra's supposed to hurt. It always hurts. But no, that is a problem. That's where toxins are accumulating. And you got to bounce out that area and free the toxins of that area. And that's why lymphatic drainage is so important. Shaking, movement, and certain types of movement that I mention all the time. But I really think it's so important to understand what toxins actually do. Because if you go to the doctor and you're like, I have this chronic pain, we will do this or do that. They're gonna do something for the pain, but they're not gonna explain to you, you've got really high toxicity in that area. You need to consume more water to flush it out, and you need to provide lymphatic drainage to get everything to drain out of it, and you need to stop constantly exposing yourself to that toxin. So understanding that toxins are poisonous substances, we have control over them to an extent. You know, if you live in a moldy home and you're constantly using toxic products, you're gonna have a really big problem because you have the toxins that are coming from within you that actually multiply like mold spores, but you're also constantly throwing toxins in yourself. And then if you're eating at McDonald's and Taco Bell and all these places that have highly GMO products that are sprayed with horrific glyphosate, eating them on a constant basis and having negative thoughts, that is not adding to the situation. And then when you get sick and you feel like you're not getting better, that's a problem as well. Oh, so the last thing I forgot to mention in consumed toxins would be like pharmaceuticals, things that you could be injected with. A lot of people do Botox, other injected pharmaceuticals. You know what other injected pharmaceuticals are loaded with mercury, thimerosal, aluminum. All those things are toxins and they do the same thing. And the half-life of those is a lot bigger. Heavy metals are a lot harder to get out of the body. They can take years and years and years to get out of the body because they're such a larger molecule and they can do a lot more damage. So it's really, really super important to avoid those type of injected toxins at all costs. So I made a toxin-free checklist that is printable, and it kind of goes through your home and shows you some healthy swaps, starting from getting rid of the skincare that contains parabens and chemicals. I personally use a lot of Beauty Counter. I use some Aloha Pure, some Bare Minerals, but the skincare is definitely like Beauty Counter. Also go to ewg.com to look for healthy swaps for the current products that you're using. If you're using deodorants and things like that, the last thing you want is aluminum in your armpits, obviously, because it absorbs into that area that is so fragile and a lot of your lymphatic ducts are there. So swap out laundry detergents, candles, super clean candles where even they're looking at the wick of the candle to make sure it's not producing VOCs in the air. So swap out your bleach for oxy products, which are actually made out of peroxide. Swap out that bad furniture for good furniture. So the next time you're buying new furniture for the home, look for green guards, look for seals that your furniture isn't going to be letting off VOCs. Pottery Barn, IKEA, they all have furniture that says no VOC, green guard, things like that. And then for your kitchen, look at cookware that is not Teflon. Teflon not only has tons of toxins in it when you cook on it, but it also releases VOCs into the air that are very dangerous. They actually kill birds. So it's super important to get rid of all the nonstick cookware, do things like T304, T316, Nutrisol, Kitchencraft, Americraft. I use non-bleach parchment paper on my aluminum baking sheets because aluminum is a toxin and it will leach into your food if you're using baking soda or salt with it. So if you're cooking on aluminum baking sheets on a daily basis, you're cooking healthy food like broccoli, you're sprinkling it with salt and you're putting it in the oven, it's going to leach aluminum into your food, which is a neurotoxin and can cause Alzheimer's and all kinds of issues. So silicone and glass storage is really good. And always use a safe water filter. If you are not using a water filter, your body becomes the filter. So I personally use a multi-pure. It's the #1 NSF certified filter on the market. I actually have, I think, 4 of them in my home. I love that filter. It's only $70 a year or $69 a year for the change out filter. The filter lasts a whole entire year, ends up being cheaper than Brita, and it's in a stainless steel housing. So it's super, super important to look at all of your options and making clean swaps for your home. So on a daily basis, it doesn't stress you out. You know that there are clean candles out there that are affordable. There are all different ways to find good cookware. On my Instagram, I have a highlight on how you find really good cookware, actually on eBay, trying to find really good deals on really, really high quality cookware. Also on tips how to cook with stainless steel cookware. But so my Instagram is a very, very good resource. I show you on a daily basis kind of the things I use in my own home because I actually live the lifestyle I talk about. So the next thing is like, once you know, I've got all these toxins, I'm exposed to all kinds of things. Maybe you have underlying diseases and parasites that you don't know about. So the most important thing, right, is to make sure the things that are under your control, you can get out of your life, but also detoxing them out, right? You want them out of your body. If you have pain in your body, that's toxicity, So you have to think about your thoughts, obviously, because I told you thoughts can create toxicity. Oh my gosh, this fan is blowing my hair everywhere. I love it, but I hate it in my mouth. So detoxing, obviously, is so important. But making sure you're drinking adequate amounts of water, because water is what rinses the toxicity out of your body. If you get up in the morning and you're dehydrated right when you get up, because you are, and the first thing you do is drink a diuretic, you're actually pushing more water out of your body and concentrating your toxic burden. So if you get up and you drink a cup of coffee, the first thing you do when you wake up in the morning, bad news, guys. You have to start your day with a big glass of water, hopefully alkalinized water that has a little lemon in it or some apple cider vinegar, because alkalinizing water in the morning is great for rinsing out toxins. Super, super important. The next thing, obviously, is sweating. Your skin is your biggest organ, right? And not only does heat help facilitate moving toxins out through the skin, which has been scientifically proven. I have a blog on my website about it. Like that, when your body gets hot, you actually are thinning out that lymphatic fluid that can be storing toxins. You thin out the lymphatic fluid so that it can move easily out of your body through your urine as well. So you're eliminating through your urine and through your skin. But not only that, when you get hot using infrared products like the Biomat, a sauna, a steam room, those heat shock proteins kick in something within your own body and it starts healing all of the damaged areas. So heat is a double whammy, especially if you're using something like a Biomat, which is an infrared mat that I've mentioned in previous videos, or using something like a low EMF infrared sauna. Clear light saunas make amazing low EMF infrared saunas. So amazing. One of the best things you could possibly do. If you look a lot of the countries like Finland, where they do sauna therapy. Switzerland, every single day they have some of the best longevity, some of the healthiest people in the world. So super important to do things like that. Circulation is also super important. Circulation is what takes oxygenated blood, it clears the toxins out of the area, and it brings in basically like stem cells and nutrients in to heal areas. So the best way to get oxygenated blood, I'm gonna tell you guys a secret. It's breathing. Deep breathing drives the circulation in your body. So many of us are running around barely breathing, barely getting any oxygen to the cells in our body, barely getting enough oxygen to drive the toxins out of where they are, to get that oxygenated blood to heal the area. I use something, I have called it like the magic blaster for toxins and for circulation in the body. I use something called a Normatech system, which is like these boots that you pull up to your thighs, and it actually uses a compression therapy to squeeze all the blood up through your legs and push it up through your heart to cause a humongous boost in circulation. And then I lay on a Biomat mini, and that is thinning out the lymphatic fluid and creating heat shock proteins through the body. So you're getting that like hot / circulation going at the same time. If you combine that with deep breathing, it is probably one of the most amazing discoveries I've ever made using these two products together. And I'm going to do a video dedicated to it because it's one of the most amazing things that's helped me so much. Like night and day, life and death, it has helped me so much, and I do it every single day now. So combining the heat shock proteins with the intense circulation is a game changer, especially if you have any type of autoimmune disease. It doesn't matter what the autoimmune disease is. It could be Lyme disease, it could be Hashimoto's, it could be SIBO, it could be any of those things. You need oxygenated blood and heat shock proteins to not only heal the areas, but to drive that fresh oxygenated blood into the areas, and also to move that toxicity out. So important, especially if you have any type of gut inflammation at all. If you have colitis, if you have Crohn's disease, if you have SIBO, all of those things are so important. You would think, what do the legs have to do with it? What does laying on a hot thing on my back have to do with it? The Biomat penetrates up to 9 inches through the skin. So it's creating that heat shock protein all the way through your intestines. And then the oxygenated blood is being pushed up through your legs and getting that oxygen to flow. If you are deep breathing on top of that, you're getting extra oxygen to all the places that need it, in helping with the circulation and helping with the elimination of those toxins. So all that stuff is going to be pushed out through your urine. So obviously it's very important to drink a lot of filtered water, but it has been such a huge game changer for me. So using Biomat therapy, infrared saunas, hot and cold therapy is so amazing because you get the combination of the heat shock proteins. So you could take like an ultra hot shower or lay on a Biomat or hop in an infrared sauna and then immediately jump into a bath of ice cold water. You can put ice in it, you can do cryotherapy, you can just hop in a tub of cold water. It doesn't even have to have ice in it. What happens is it shocks the body. It's instant. It instantly removes inflammation out of all over the body, and then it pushes all the toxins into the lymph and helps shoot it out of the body the next time you take a pee. It's amazing. So going from hot to cold is like one of the most phenomenal things you can do for yourself. And that's why a lot of countries that do the saunas, they immediately go in and do a cold plunge. And you'll see it become more popular all over the United States. People are healing themselves doing this. So it's super important. Deep breathing, like I said, drives circulation, but it also activates the lymphatic system. So activating the lymphatic system is the system in your body that moves the toxins out and gets the oxygenated blood where it needs to go. So deep breathing, breathing into your belly. I have a whole video dedicated to breathing for your nervous system, but breathing for your nervous system is also breathing for health. It's changing the way you breathe so you get deeper sleep, so you get more regeneration in the body, but also it's that breath drives the oxygenated blood to get the toxins out and also get the healthy stem cells and healthy nutrients to the areas that need them for healing. So the cool thing about the hot and cold therapy, all of these things make people lose weight like crazy. Why? Because if we are loaded with toxins, we are storing water all over our body. We're storing it everywhere because those toxins and the area in the skin that have the sarcodes, it has to draw water to the area to protect the cells. So you can be carrying up to 20, 30 pounds of extra water in your body because basically your body is trying to protect itself. So you are harboring water, and that's what we call inflammation. The inflammation it can be a healthy thing, but chronic inflammation is a problem because you're getting all the water to that area. It's causing an inflammatory response because it needs to be healed. It needs to get that toxin out of there. But if you never get the toxins out of there, it just stays inflamed all the time. You get that excess water because you're not getting the toxin or the toxic substance out of the area, and it's not getting healed. So that's why that deep breathing is so important. But anything you can do, heat shock proteins, hot and cold therapies, compression therapy is going to help you heal that much faster. Super important. There are also supplements that bond to toxins in the body. One that I take on an almost daily basis is called GI Detox. So GI Detox has activated charcoal, clay, hulmic and fulvic acids, apple pectin. It has binders that lock onto toxins, heavy metals, any type of thing that can harm your body, and it comes out through your stool. So their whole job is to grab and get out. It is very important to know that some of these, we call them binders, will actually bind onto some vital minerals. So it's really important to take some trace minerals and extra magnesium when you're taking these products, and take them away from food and supplements because they can bond to your supplements as well as your prescription drugs. So you have to take them away from them. If you are on specific prescriptions, you want to talk to your doctor and ask if you can have activated charcoal or binders on the same day as your prescriptions. So it's very important to check with your doctor before taking that. Chlorella is really amazing because chlorella will bond to toxins in the body, but it won't bond to your minerals. So taking lots of chlorella, Dr. Klinghardt, he is a big Lyme doctor, but he suggests taking chlorella like 20 to 30 pills a day, especially if you have anything like if you've just had your amalgams, your silver fillings removed. Silver fillings, I didn't mention this in the beginning, are toxic. Every time you drink something hot, you're gonna have mercury going in your body and mercury vapor, so it's very important to get those removed from a dentist that does holistic work, safe amalgam removers like Dr. Blodgett, like my doctor. The other thing is liposomal glutathione is amazing. Glutathione is your body's master antioxidant for moving toxins out of the body. I take glutathione every single day. I take an amazing one from a brand called Apex Energetics. I actually have an Apex Energetics store, and I'll put the link below for it where you can order this. It's really hard to find. It's very expensive on Amazon because it's supposed to be sold by practitioners only. But I take it every single day. If you follow me on Instagram, you watch me take it every single day. It has been such a game changer for me. Obviously, green drinks and green juices are amazing. Anything that is green and micronized will grab onto heavy metals and toxins and get them out of the body. So if you're juicing things like spinach, kale, juicing, not blending, they will grab onto heavy metals in the body and toxins and pull them out of the body. So pooping at all costs is very important because if your stool gets dehydrated in the colon, you will reabsorb toxins. So it's very important to take lots of magnesium. Magnesium serves over 600 chemical reactions in the body, including nervous system, and helps with pooping. So if you're not taking magnesium, it's one of America's #1 deficiencies, and a good magnesium product will help you not only poop, but help with your sleep and other nervous system functions, try to help keep you out of fight or flight mode. So I have a whole printout on emotional stress. Like I said, a bad thought or a nasty thought is worse than any bug, because if you're chronically thinking about fear-based things that are chaotic, things that are anger, bitterness related, it's going to create the same kind of toxicity as if you literally drank a bottle of Roundup. Like, I'm not even kidding you. So like I said, Dr. Caroline Leaf talks all about that, but I have a printout on the hidden dangers of toxic thinking, and it talks about all of the toxins that are released in the body. And now that you know what a toxin does, how important is that thinking? How important is to take that thought and go, is that thought gonna serve me? Should I entertain it or not? It's a really big game changer for somebody that has bad health. When they turn their health around and they visualize a healthy human being, visualize yourself healthy, think about healthy thoughts, then it's really gonna change not only your body, not only your mind, but it is gonna make you healthier. So it's super important to understand toxic thinking creates toxicity in the body, and that creates disease in the body. And you can have disease created in the body that is solely based on your thoughts, which is a really, really scary thing. So I really just wanted to go over all of that information with you, because I think it's so important to understand toxicity, what it does, how to move it out. There are just so many hidden things that you can be having going on in the background, like if you carry Epstein-Barr virus, or Lyme, or if you have SIBO, or if you have anything, if you have parasites that are creating toxicity, and then you live in a toxic world on top of it. You need to get the toxicity down to a minimum so that you can actually heal. So I think it's so, so important. So thank you so much for watching. Please put any comments in the box below about videos that you want to see. I want to do a lot more health related videos more frequently. So much for watching. Make sure you turn on your notifications so you know when I drop a video. Source for you here to help you heal. Thanks so much for watching. Bye.